Ah, Pikmin, what a wonderful franchise. This is actually one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, right behind BioShock and The Legend of Zelda. This game was released by Nintendo in 2002 in Europe and 2001 in the US. I remember when this game first came out and I was so excited. Nah, just kidding. When this game first came out, I was one of these abominations. Although, in my opinion, this game is very underrated. Although I can see why, with the art style it really looks like it was meant towards these creatures. Anyway, is Pikmin a good game, and is it hard to complete? Let's find out. This story is pretty straightforward, but have you seen the Wikipedia page? It got so much wrong, so I'm just going to compare them, so also then you'll know the story of the game. Okay, let's see, Olimar is a little guy from the planet Hokotate. And that's right, moving on. Apparently Olimar was making a cup of tea, so then he had put his spaceship on autopilot. Okay, does it look like he got room for that? I mean, that ship sure seemed kinda crumbled. Just try to make a cup of tea inside your closet. It's basically the same thing. God damn it! But other than that, it isn't really that much wrong with the Wikipedia page. Just like a lot of text errors and things like that. But the story follows like this. Olimar is out on an adventure exploring the stars when suddenly an asteroid came down from nowhere, crashed into his ship, and he was sent plummeting down to a new planet he had never been on before. Olimar woke up beside his ship, and he realized that he has gotten himself into a real mess. You see, this planet contains a lot of toxic gas, and, well, Olimar's spacesuit isn't going to hold that off forever. And your ship is missing 30 parts, and you also have 30 days to complete the game. After that, you find yourself at the first level, the impact site. This is the area where you're going to meet your first type of Pikmin, the red Pikmin, which do more damage and are resistant to fire. The Pikmin comes from a machine that Olimar calls for an onion. Now this first level really is a good tutorial to show you how to use the Pikmin to help you. You can use the Pikmin to carry pellets and corpses of dead enemies back to the onion, which will then make more Pikmin. The Pikmin are able to do a lot of different things, because you are the master and you are just commanding them, just using them to your own bidding. But that's actually okay. They're able to build bridges and break down walls and carry things around. At the end of the first day, the Pikmin helps you with carrying the engine back to your ship. That is the first part of the game, and there are 29 other parts and you have 29 other days to complete the game. From the second day and every day after that is when the days gets a timer. Each day lasts a total of 13.5 minutes. Now this is quite a long time, so it's pretty damn easy to find more than one part each day. The second level is called Forest of Hope, and this is where we get introduced to the battle system. The battle system is nothing really special, just throw your Pikmin at the enemy and they will just start fighting. It is quite charming and really simple, and I love it. This is also where you meet the second type of Pikmin, which is the yellow Pikmin. These can carry bombs to blast away some walls, and they can also be thrown much higher. And once you get a set number of parts, you can get access to the next level. And the next level is a dark, kind of a scary as area, but it turns out pretty boring and bland. This is one of the more challenging levels to get all the parts in, because this level introduces you to more hazards, like fire and water. So the last type of Pikmin are the blue Pikmin, which you do meet in this level. And they don't have anything special other than being able to walk through water. So this game does have a couple of bosses, but they don't really feel that special. In this level you're going to fight Puffstool, which takes over your Pikmin, and the Biddy Longlegs, which is basically the most iconic boss fight in the Pikmin franchise. So I think I'm gonna talk about the different enemy types, because there are a lot of different enemies, and you're not going to forget them. For example, just look at this thing. You're not going to forget about this thing when you see it one more time. It's so memorable because it has a real unique style to it, so you're not going to forget that. Anyway, the last level is called the Distant Spring, and this is the most relaxing level ever, and it's also the most challenging one, and it's a war level. Oh, that's why it's so hard? No, but seriously, this level is really relaxing, and it's really cool. It is relaxing, yeah, it's hard, but it is actually my favorite level, and it is the biggest level in the game. I think it contains about 11 parts or something in this area, and it's very big, and it's still my favorite level. I just love it. So calm and relaxing, and I love it. And when you have gathered all of the parts for the 4 levels, you notice that it is one part missing. That is when you get access to the last level in the game, the final trial. Now, as I said, this final level is really short, and it only has one part, being the final one, which is in the possession of the final boss. But before that, the game really tests what you learn throughout your playthrough, and it is such a satisfying final level, you know. But the final boss is nothing really that special. The easiest way to defeat the final boss is by sacrificing some of your yellow Pikmin. You just have a bunch of them with a few bombs, or all of them are carrying bombs, and take one with you and make the boss eat that one Pikmin. Like, you gotta take one for the team, and after that the bomb will blow up inside his mouth, which will kind of stun him, and then you just throw every Pikmin you got, except the bombs, of course. And can I just say, when Pikmin die in this game, it's almost just sad seeing them drown away, or being burnt alive, or being eaten alive as well. It's kind of sad to see them just die like that. The game has a total of 3 different endings. The first one being if you manage to get all of the 30 parts within the 30 days. The next best ending is getting 25 of the necessary parts to beat the game. And the last ending, which is the bad ending, happens if you don't get the 25 parts necessary to beat the game. So I have beaten this game quite a lot of times, and each time I have tried to get one of the 3 scores that you get at the end of the game to a really low or a really high number. The fewest days I've used to get all the 30 parts is 12. I used 12 days to get all 30 parts, and I'm pretty proud of that. And the most surviving Pikmin I've had at the end was 3034, although I could have gotten probably 4000, because I still have that save file, so I can just reopen it and use more days on getting more Pikmin and then beat the game. Since I used 25 days, I can get a hell of a lot more Pikmin, so I can do that, but I'm quite tired of Pikmin for now. And the file with the least amounts of deaths is with 127, and this was kind of interesting because this was the playthrough I used to capture footage for this review, so that's kind of a cool thing. This game also supports a challenge mode, which will take place in all of the 5 areas in the main game. Your goal is to get as many Pikmin as possible. How many Pikmin can you get in one day? Some of the records are, well, I'm pretty proud of some of these high scores, but there are some that I know I can do better on. So, how do you complete this game? It is one of the easiest games to 100% complete. Just play the game 3 times, get all the endings, and play at least once on all of the challenge modes, and then you're done. That's it. It is really easy compared to the 2 other videos I've done on the channel. This is by far one of the easiest games you can complete. There is one game that I have completed 100% that is even easier, just requires 1 playthrough to be able to complete, and well, that's cool. I like easy games to complete. It's like It's kind of a cool thing, because, you know, racking up those completed games. So the presentation is pretty good, it's pretty decent, and I like it, although it was a really early GameCube title, so the developers really wanted to show the capabilities of the GameCube, and that's pretty okay, but I do think that the environment could have been improved on. Like, the very first area, when you first crash lands on the planet, looks very similar to Garden of Hope. The soundtrack, it's good. Mostly good. It's really relaxing, especially the song that plays on during the distant spring. That's actually the one I'm playing right now in the background. I really like that song. I just had to put it in. Well, anyway, I really like the soundtrack. It is very fitting, really relaxing, except for the third level, fourth level. So, is Pikmin a good game? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. But it's not like very good. It do have some problems. Like, the Pikmin isn't really that smart, so they may just wander off all by themselves and getting themselves killed. Yes, that happens, and no, it's not fun. It's taxing, because if you have 100 Pikmin with you, most likely a couple of them is just gonna get lost when you're just going somewhere. So this game it's pretty good, actually. Personally, I really like the game. Although it does only have 5 levels. They are pretty big and they have a lot of different things going for it, so the variety in the levels are there. But as I said, some of the levels are a bit samey, but other than that, I don't really have any more complaints about the game, other than that the Pikmin have their own properties and just wander off if they want to. It's not very random, but if you go by a patch of grass or something, they may just start picking on that, so that's something to be worrying about. But other than that, I really like the game, and I think I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because, well, the Pikmin have their own properties, and it can happen that they get themselves killed, which is really annoying. And you really have to keep track of all the Pikmin you currently have with you, which can be a bit taxing, but it's not that bad. Although I did have one other problem with the game. I didn't feel like the controls were that responsive. I saw myself pressing a button to dismiss the whole group, but sometimes it just didn't work, so I had to press it again and then it will work. So the controls are quite unresponsive at times, and that is the main reason why I dragged the rating so low. And it's not like very low, just 7 out of 10 is still pretty good, but the controls are gonna make it a tad bit annoying. Hey guys, thanks for watching. The next video, I have set up a kind of a uploading schedule. I do want to make one video every week, because I'm still quite small on YouTube, so I don't think I should spend that much time on it. But I really do want 200 subscribers. If I get 200 subscribers, I'm gonna put out a top 10 or a top 20 favorite games of all time. So if you do want to see that, make sure to press that subscribe button and like if you do like, comment if you like to see, I don't know, comment something. That always works. Well, next week I am going to work on top 10, so if it doesn't come out on Sunday, I apologize, but I have never really made a top 10, so I'm not even sure if I'm going to pull it through if it turns out like bullshit. But anyway, thanks for watching again, and like and subscribe if you want to see more from the series, and if you would like to see my top 10 favorite games. Well, anyways, see you guys.